G'day and welcome back to my channel. My name's Bree and I just want to start by saying a huge thank you for everybody who has liked my videos or subscribed. You're right. Today I'm going to be making a wall hanging for a very close family friend who is currently in Canada getting married. I was unable to attend the wedding, so I thought it would be nice as a gift to make her a wall hanging. Some people really like handmade gifts, some don't. I feel like sometimes you give people handmade gifts and they're like, bitch, like, you didn't want to spend money on me, like, this is what I get. I don't know, I find it really funny. Or some people just are like, oh my god, that's amazing, I can't believe you did that, you put so much time into it. So it's a bit hit and miss. Should we start? Should we get into it? Rude. So like all projects, you are going to have to procure some items to complete them. For today's video, I am super, and I mean super excited to tell you that it is actually sponsored. Today's video is sponsored by Industrial Yarns, industrialyarns.com.au. I bought the macrame cord that I used to build my wedding arbor from them and I really liked it, like I loved it. I had a hard time really looking online and finding macrame cord that I actually thought was good quality and affordable and that would fray the way I wanted it to, that really nice fluffy ends. And when I came across Industrial Yarns, I was like, cool man, ordered some stuff, perfect. I liked it so much that I actually got in touch with them and asked if they would be willing to sponsor this video, and they replied really quickly and they're like, yes, that's awesome. So they have supplied me with 2 rolls of 4mm cord free of charge. Industrialyarns.com.au. Always cut away from yourself in order to avoid injury. I learned that the hard way once or twice. Oh my god, they've actually supplied me with 3 rolls. Oh, I love them. I've got 2 2-kilo rolls and 1 1-kilo roll. Oh my goodness, industrialyarns.com.au. Thank you so much. So for this video, you are going to need some macrame cord or any other sort of cord. You can get heaps of different stuff at Industrial Yarns. Like honestly, go on, have a look at their website. There is so much to choose from and it's all really cheap. And I love it, like I genuinely do. I would never push anything that I didn't like, and I would never obviously like contact a supplier unless I really liked their stuff. I think they're good value, good quality, and really easy to deal with. You're also gonna need probably a pair of scissors. Usually I would use a dowel rod that I would get from Bunnings, but I kind of really like the idea of using something a bit more natural. So I went out to mine and my husband's property and we went and we looked for like the perfect branch to use and I found it. Oh, I'm not sure if she's gonna fit, but this is pretty much it. It's just this big ass branch. I'm really bad at stuff like this. Like I don't understand. Like I can't look at something and be like, oh, that's a meter or whatever. I would say it is probably, I don't know, I'm not sure. It's like I'm 6 foot tall. Okay, let's do it. This would be about 4.5 feet long. Measure it against myself. So that's pretty much you need. You need this scissors and somewhere to hang it from. I hang it from a curtain rod above a window. So I'm going to hang this up and we're gonna get started. So I have hung my branch up here. I've tried to get it as level as possible considering that it's not straight. I think I've done an okay job. It's gonna suit for now. I've found a few pictures that I like that I'm gonna use for inspiration. And now the next step is cutting your cord to size. I don't know if you've seen any of my other videos where I talk about length a lot. Length is really important. You wanna give yourself a lot of length. You know the story. So what I usually do to measure is I figure out how much I think I'm going to need. Say I need this much, I then double it so it's like this and then I cut the end off so I have this long a piece. Now the reason why that is done is because of the way the cord is attached to the dowel rod, which is like so. So basically it needs to be double what you think you need. Okay, so I figured out how long I want my string to be. I gave myself extra length, you know the drill. So what I do now is I just get me pre-cut string. I grab some not yet cut string. I line these bad boys up and then I just pull it through. Once it gets to the end, I cut. And now I have 2 measured pieces of string, and that's basically it. You just go ahead and do that with the rest of your string. To attach the cord to your holding device, mine is branch, we'll just call it branch. Why don't we just go with the branch? We have to find a piece of string, or the piece of cord that you've cut. You get the 2 ends together, and then you find this bit here. So you put it over the top, pull it down, and then you get these 2 strands and you pull them through, and then you pull it nice and tight. Done, that's your first strand. So there are 20 strands here and 6 either side, which make 40 bits of cord, 12. What we're gonna do is grab a piece of cord. So this piece of cord here is gonna be our runner. I'm gonna swap sides so that I don't get in the way. And what it's gonna do is run the full length, it's gonna run to the middle, so it's gonna run 10 deep. And all that happens is each time it passes a piece of cord, we wrap that cord under it, we pinch that cord that we wrapped under, we pull through. So it kind of looks like when you tie your shoes, that shape that it makes. And then you pull it up like that and it turns into what I think looks like, I don't know, like a baby snail shell from the beach. And then you just do it again and it doubles it up. So basically you grab your piece of cord, you hold it underneath, you pinch it there so it's held underneath. You put the rest of the cord through the gap, if you can. Pull it through and you tighten it up. I'm trying to just make sure this is going to be level. I think this is our lowest point, so we'll run with that. So that was 1, so now we have to do the second half. So now it goes over and through, like so. So as you can see here, we have got our 2 lines done. I can tell from the camera, like, yeah, it looks weird. It's going to look weird, but trust me, it would look weirder if I did them directly at the top, because it would eventually come down and it would just look really strange. But this way, it's not going to look as weird. Like if I kind of zoom out, it's even less weird that way as well. So now all I have to do is another line underneath. Okay, now that I've done 2, that side definitely looks like dodgier, for sure. You're gonna need to be zoomed in for this shit. You're coming into this kitchen, learning this square knot. Square knots are pretty much the most used, not like you could make a whole macrame thing out of square knots. Like you can make a whole macrame thing out of any of these knots really. Square knots though are pretty much the most common, I would say. They're the ones, they're my go-to. They're my jam, basically. So I'm gonna take these 4 here. I'm gonna start with the right. So I'm gonna take the right piece of string or cord and I'm gonna put it in front of these 2 here. But I'm gonna put it behind the far left one. I'm then gonna take that far left one, take it under the middle 2 and this piece of string, and then in front in that gap and pull it through. So it looks like that. Then I'm just going to tighten it to the top. And then I'm going to go back the other way and take the left piece of string, fold it in front of these 2 pieces of string, behind the right piece of string, and I'm going to swoop it underneath all 3 of those strings and then out in front of the left piece of string. And then ta-da, that's your square knot. That's what we got going on there for now. So you just learned how to do a square knot. Now I'm gonna fuck it all up for you by putting something else in your head. So when we did the square knot, we did the front and then the back. So we did to the right and then we did to the left and then to the right. And that gave us that square knot. If we kept doing that all the way down, like alternating left to right, you'd get a straight pattern. However, if you just do left, 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 or right, 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 it will begin to spin. I'm thinking if I just go right, right, right the whole time, hopefully it'll start spinning to the right. Yeah, I was right. So basically that's it. You just do the first half, but all to the right. You can see it's already starting to spin a little bit. Look at that spin go. You go, girl. You go, Blanco, go. She's spinning. The tighter you do it, the better the spin does look. Up there is not that tight. I'm gonna tighten it. Now that we have those done, we're going to move them out of the way because we don't want to use them. We're going to take these two and these two, which hopefully help with the Raggedy Ann shit they got going on. And we're going to square another one. Pretty? Go away. So we're going to do the same again with the next lot. We need to do another couple on either side, but we can't because we would have to borrow string from up here. But we need to be doing some other stuff up here before this can borrow that. So we need to do this first before we can continue on with what we're doing there. The idea for this is for these to kind of look like little little upside down triangles. And then what I want to do now is pretty much flip them and mirror it again. What we want to do now to kind of continue this pattern here is take from this side and do our square knot. We just want to make sure we leave enough space so that it's actually very similar to that. So it's quite tight. That looks like about the same amount of space. Actually worked out pretty well. Huh? Who'd have thought? And we square knot that. It could be a little bit tighter. There we go. And we do the same on the other side. Okay, now that we have got that triangle done, we're gonna be doing some cute shit down in here. Scrunches are really in. I promise I'm not like bald or anything either. I am actually a natural blonde. So when you see like these parts of my hair that look like I'm bald patches, it's not, it's just my blonde regrowth and need to go to a hairdresser. So there's our 3 square knots, they've stayed straight. So now what I want to do is mirror what's going on up here down under here. So that's pretty much the center. That's how I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna go ahead and do anything too much more because there will be another, oh, it fell over. I haven't been drinking this morning, I promise. And if we have a hanging, it's probably gonna obscure some of it, and then I would have done all this work for nothing because you won't even see it. I'm gonna go ahead like I always do and try and finish maybe one side of these, and then I'll go over it with you just because it's not fun or like doesn't make for a good video for you to constantly stop, start, watch me take things apart, do it again when I am deciding what I think looks best. So I'm gonna go ahead and do half of it and then we'll come back and we'll do the rest together. So as you can see, I have completed this little fella right here and I have started on this side. It's basically a whole, really, Callie, as soon as I start talking, it's basically a whole heap of those running lark's head. I should know the knots by now, honestly, I'm terrible. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just making some diamonds.
Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
Past that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just
Okay, so that's pretty much those two done now. We need to do this sucker. And all this is, like, this dude, check him out. All he is just an endless line of square knots. I'm not even kidding. You just grab your partner, spin them around. You just grab the top 4. So that's how she's looking at the moment. I got this one here. As we go and we start adding more layers of stuff, they'll kind of have their own place to be, just like these. This will get some shit dangling off it. You know what it's like, look at these macrame things. They get layers. Are you enjoying your macrame project so far? I have semi-finished one side of it to get basically like a blueprint of what I'm gonna do. I have done a few bits and pieces that I will talk you through because it had to be done in order to continue with this side of things anyway. For example, here we had to do a plait and it joined another plait from the other side, and all I did here was like a dodgy ass square knot. Right here is going to cover it, and all that is, I hung some line from here down here, and what I did, it was the same thing with these suckers. I just square knotted them onto the rope and it come down here. Same with these two, I just pulled them to the side, and once I get to the rope, all I do is square knot it to the rope. So I slip the rope through and I do a square knot kind of like underneath. So as you can see over this side, this is pretty much the next step. I've hung 4 cords which make 8 cords overall here, and then 5 on this side which makes 10. So the ones you hang here, you're gonna want them to be pretty long. Let's get started. Alright, as I take a step back and have a look, we're getting pretty close to the other side. Just keep taking a step back, because when you're up close, sometimes it looks right, but it ain't right. Yeah, we have to do a couple more, and then I think we'll be there. And this is kind of like what I talked about. Like if you look, that's the string on the outer ones that you wrap over, and obviously this has like, the middle strings have so much left because I don't do anything. I just hang out in the middle, like they're bloody useless. Like there's people at work that you do all the work and they just hang around and do nothing. They still get paid. Everyone just thinks they do shit. They don't do anything. They have a purpose being there, I guess, in a way, but they're not doing anything. We're gonna want to do this part, but we can't do this part until we do this part because it all ties in with that part. So we're gonna do this part.
When does this happen in the movie?
Now. You're looking at now, sir. Everything that happens now is happening now.
What happened to then?
Past that.
When?
Just now. We're at now.
Go back to then.
When?
Now.
Now?
Now.
I can't.
Why?
We missed it.
When?
Just
These first 2 I'm gonna hang over here because I'm not doing shit with them yet. They're gonna be off in that direction at some stage. I'm gonna take the 4 outer ones and we're gonna do a special kind of square knot with these. So you're just doing a square knot like whatever. Oh, square knot. Sorry, square knot. Now we're gonna go down the line a little bit and do another square knot. So you leave in a bit of space, but you don't want too much space, maybe like that amount, and then complete the square knot like so. And then you're gonna hold these 2 and just push the square knot up a little bit and pull out these little suckers here. So it looks kind of cute. Just something simple. We're gonna do about, I think, 8 of those. So you just do your square knot, like so. Push it up a little bit. So you hold those, push it up a little bit, and just pull them taut, nice and taut. So we have our 8 done here. And we're going to move that one to the side because we don't need it just yet as well. And then you want to go ahead and do another 8 exactly the same on this side. Okay, now you want to grab the one on the left and we're going to be twisting it as well towards the left. So we're doing another spiral square knot and it's going to be going towards the left. So now we're going to be doing this cord here. So it's the top one off to the right. This one, you're gonna take the top string out of it and we're gonna tuck it over in here and kind of do, like you can see similar to that one there, has gone up and in this square knot. So we're gonna go up, where did you go? Which one did you go through? Through here. You go up, through that hole. Can't really see, there's like a hole, just choose one. So as long as it's the same as the other, through that one, so you can't really tell. And then do what I call like a fake knot, like just anything that won't like secure it permanently or anything will be difficult to unattach. Okay, so now what we want to do is hang similar to the other side. We want to hang some tassels off it. So in order to do that, we need to figure out a length. So I'm just going to figure out how long I want to cut a bunch of them up and then attach it the same way you would to the top. Okay, so I may have gotten a tiny little bit ahead of myself and forgot to film just because it was annoying me so much. And also now in my gym jams, no judging. So basically what I did with that string is I loaded up all the different tassels and then I went and did that favorite running knot that I love to do. And I've gone in up in here and I've done the same thing I did on the other side. I found a knot and I just pulled it through an area and tied a knot at the back so you can't even tell, like nothing's going on there sort of thing. So now we move on to the second one, which is this sucker. From memory, and from what I can see over there, I use 2 strings, and now similar to how it is over there, I'm gonna go with maybe like, I just make like a little bit of a hole here and I squeeze these 2 through. Probably if you can get them both at the same time, that's good, like that. Yeah, pull it through. I think, like I said, we tie like a really kind of like semi-permanent knot. Same principle again. So right about here is when I start to do my running knot. That's because, as you can kind of see in other places, basically it gets too tight and it bunches up a heap and I don't want it to bunch up. So what I do is I put minimal amount on. I start my running knot and slowly they start to push more and more out, and that's just so it doesn't get too tight or anything like that. And then I can get a better gauge of how many more I actually need to put on and what I'm going with. So we're gonna be doing the running knot now. Alrighty, it is another brand new day and we're still working on this masterpiece. I have TV going. You see the remote? Is it this way? Is it this way? Is it this way? Okay, so those two are finished up. I think they look pretty even for now. What I'm gonna do next is hang the tassels. I have cut 36 of these bad boys and applied them. They're kind of evenly spaced apart. They're not located tightly together like the others, and that's because we're gonna be tying some square knots, bish, my favorite. Because there's 36, I need to find the center, which is 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 18. So these two here are the center ones. I'm just gonna like reshuffle so it looks more centered now that I know who is the center. The first thing we're gonna do is square knot the whole lot of them. Okay, so I may have slightly stuffed up just a little bit. It actually has to be an uneven number for it to work. So I got a little fella left over here, and I'm gonna have a little fella left over the other side, I dare say. I'll probably have to cut 2 more pieces and put it on each end and just shuffle it so that it looks good. We have done the knots. There are 19 of them, I believe. I'm not counting them again, that is just embarrassing. So what we're gonna do now is some more square knots, but we're gonna leave like a little bit of space so it kind of comes out a bit more like, I guess, pretty. So we'll just leave, I feel like that amount is potentially a good amount, like that. And we square knot it and try to make these suckers even, like that. And then continue on to your left or to your right. And we're just gonna do that with all of them, taking care to kind of try and make them as uniform as possible in terms of the amount of space that is left between each one. Ooh, pretty. Oh my God. Like, look at this. Like, I'm 6 foot tall. This is it hanging. This is a massive piece. Like, where are they gonna put this? Alrighty, what we do now, again, is find the center, and we are going to be doing a spiral twist that doesn't have to go too far, maybe like up there, and then we're gonna hang another layer in front of that. Okay, so I have chucked on another piece of string here. I kind of tied it into a square knot on the right so that it kind of blended a little better. And now what I'm going to do is, like always, just measure out some pieces of string and attach them to it, and then do that running knot along the rim so that it matches in with the rest of them. Oh, hi there, it's me again, literally months later. You can see I've gone ahead and done a few things that I probably should have filmed, but I didn't. Also, I forgot to turn my microphone on. The reason it's been so long is because I had a back issue, and then I went to America for a month, which was awesome. I'm also sporting a new sleeve tattoo that I got there, so that's what that is. Oh, hey, look what I did when you guys went around. I just hung a whole heap of stuff off, and then I square knotted it all, and that's basically it. So what I'm doing here is we're going to continue on where we left off, and we're just doing more square knots. So we're doing this to give it more of a net feel, and you want to do those square knots all the way down to the bottom where it meets the piece that hangs over the top. You don't need to go any further than that because no one's going to see it, and it would be a waste of your time. If you want to, go for it, but it's really, really unnecessary. And you just do it all the way up to the top, so you just carry it along. And that's pretty much it. So back again, another million years later. My husband is actually behind the camera at the moment helping, but we're gonna get back into it. While I've been staring at this, I've noticed a few things that are wrong with it that I want to fix. So I noticed in my many months of staring at this, there's some things that are wrong with it, or Like for example, you can kind of see here, this just is off center. It doesn't look quite right. Like it sits okay here and then it ends too early. So I'm just gonna go ahead and unravel that and then take it to the next knot. Yeah, that sits better. Do you think so? Yeah, sits better. We need to now go ahead and do that on this side. So I would say these are about 2 centimeters apart, but then again, I'm a terrible judge of distance. I have a feeling that I might pull out a little bit tighter in the end, so I won't need an extra bit up top. But basically, like you can see here, we've been doing the same thing the whole way through. You want to do a square knot. So we're at the cutting stage now. You're gonna have to take a step back and just use your eyes to kind of hopefully get it at a spot where they're about the same length as the ones. Now that they've been cut, whoop, get out of the road. Down here, all you wanna do, if you have the type of cord that pulls apart, you can leave it like that if you want. I personally really like the volume and like the fluffiness, and it just looks really cute, I think. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do all of these, and my husband, unbeknownst to him, is gonna come help me. So we'll do that now.
Wait, what?
Honey, you're not just a pretty face, get your booty in here, come help. Now is my absolute least favorite thing to do, which is cutting and trimming the piece. And that's because once you cut, if you fuck it up, you cannot go back. You are stuck with it. So what I'm going to do is just start from the bottom and then hit each kind of new area and then just do it that way, I guess. So this is pretty much trimmed now how I want it to be. And I think what I'll go ahead now is these on either sides. I think I will fluff them up and then I actually think we'll be done. I really hope Amber and Josh are happy with the final product. I am. I really like it. Honestly, I think it could have been done in at least a week or two, doing a couple of hours every night. The thing that does take the most amount of time with these, as always, are these nice little fluffy tassel-y bits. Like, they really are really time consuming. Like, it takes twice as long to do a piece just because you put those in there. So if you're happy to just like watch a bit of TV, pull the string apart, like, it's not hard at all. It's just time consuming. I'm hoping to do a little bit of like an overhaul on this channel, maybe a name change. Oh, hi darling, Callie, come here. This is Callie. She's the one that you can always hear breathing in the background or skittering along with her claws. She's having a bit of a cuddle. But I understand this was done over many months, so if little bits and pieces appeared in there out of nowhere and I never explained it, feel free to message me or comment. Like, I will always answer your comments and try to help as much as possible. I actually saw from my last macrame piece, one lady, God, she was really cool. She was messaging me, just asking me some questions on Instagram, and then I actually saw her recreation on it of it that she used at her wedding, and that was really, really cool. Like that felt really cool to see that. And a special, very, very special thanks to industrialyarns.com.au. I really appreciate the help. I appreciate that yarn. It's awesome. Like, hit that shit up. Thank you so much for watching, and just let me know if you want to see something in particular, or if you enjoyed this video, or you have any questions, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Bye. Say bye. Oh, bye. Bye-bye.
I'd love to be recording this.
It is recording right now.
It is?
I hit the record button. It wasn't recording. Your remark about it looks like we're shooting a macrame porno.
We kind of are.
There will be no sex. There will be a lot of fingers in holes though.